All right, beginning a new chapter, Immigrants and Workers is the name of the chapter here. We're going to go through our first 5 definitions in this video. All right, number 1, culture shock. Confusion and anxiety resulting from immersion into societal ways of thinking that are different from your own. So let's say that you go to China, okay? You don't know Mandarin, which is the Chinese language. You don't know their customs. Why do they take off their shoes when they go into somebody's house? All these things could shock you. For instance, Germans, okay? Whenever you go to Germany, or at least it used to be true in the past, I'm not too sure if it's so anymore. If you eat supper at somebody's house in Germany, you are expected to expel some type of gas by the end of the meal. So you can imagine sitting at a hall, with 20 guys, and they're all eating and drinking beer or whatever, and by the end of the meal, everybody's burping and farting, okay? It might put you off a little bit as an American because you're not familiar with that custom, but they do that to tell the chef that they did a good job cooking. That's the tradition. All right, number 2, melting pot. A mixture of different cultures that blend together, creating a culture with elements of all of its parts. So the idea of America was that we were supposed to be this big melting pot. We were going to take immigrants from all over the world and create one American culture, okay? I don't really think it was a success. I think that we do share a common culture, but I would say instead of a melting pot where we're all mixed in and we're all the same, I think America's more like a gumbo, okay? So you got the different parts. The parts are different. They are not all the same, but there's the common gravy that holds us all together, okay? That's probably more likely of what happened there. So, moving on. Gustav Eiffel, okay? You probably heard that name before, or at least the last name, Eiffel, okay? This sculptor made the Statue of Liberty, okay? Guess what else he made? Gustav Eiffel. Well, he made the Eiffel Tower. If you guessed that, you were correct, okay? All right, Jane Addams. This reformer created Chicago's Hull House, which helped poor immigrants and workers. All right, so Jane Addams is this older lady. She goes to Chicago and buys a big old rundown house. And then she invites a bunch of poor immigrants and workers in, and she teaches them things like the Bible. She teaches them how to read, how to do math, how to do basic things in America. And whenever these people grow up to be successful business people, they would actually send money back to Miss Addams so she could teach other children. She literally helped out thousands of people and helped to start a movement of settlement houses, that's what they called them, all over the country. This is part of something called the social gospel movement. We're going to talk about this chapter. White flight is number 5. As cities become more crowded, wealthy and middle-class citizens move out. All right, this is still true today, okay? Now, they typically call it white flight because back then, most of the people with the money, and even today, okay, unfortunately, it's still the same, but the people that are rich are typically white, okay? Not always, but that's where they get the name from. So, as you build your fortune, as you build your business in the city, especially as the transportation networks to the city grow, like trains or even later on the interstate highway system, it allows people that work in the city to not have to stay in the city. And as they leave the city, all that's left in the city are poor people. And that's a big problem because cities run on taxes, okay? So that's white flight for you.